With the advent of technology, we are living in a knowledge economy. India has a vast population of youth between 25 to 30 years of age who are considered as the demographic dividend for the country. The core assets of a business enterprise not embedded in buildings, machinery and real estate, but in the intelligence, skills and experience of the employees. These employees and the future job seekers, apart from their academic qualifications, are presently required to be skilled with analytical bent of mind to help their companies in solving problems and suggest innovation for enhancing their revenue. Harnessing such capabilities of the employees and their commitment to work are considered as the important managerial challenge of our time. However, this challenge still remains on paper. With the first pace at which the artificial intelligence is moving, it has spread its tentacles in almost all types of business concerns and corporate. Hence, it is all the more necessary that skilling should be given top priority. With the global economy being sluggish, the corporate are bent upon having only skilled workers. This has culminated in a severe jolt to the mental health and well-being of the employees in the present times of work culture. Organizations are striving to bring caring culture by introducing behavioral science into the workplace. To this end, counseling is emerging as a positive strategy. Behavioral scientists are focusing on group sentiments, attitudes of individual employees, along with the organization's social and psychological climate as it is intertwined with behavioral economics. It is a combination of concepts from psychology, anthropology, sociology, and cognitive science that is considered to be fallacious to the human values. Psychology gives us an insight to understand the principles like motivation, which can combat the stress level of employees and create supportive strategies. When we assume about individual motivation, we tend to ignore the people to meet their own psychological needs. Commitment must come from the individual's intention to support the organization's goal. Management should give more weight to areas of discussion open to the employees. Sociology gives a picture of the social dynamics and group behavior, which paves way for a cohesive working atmosphere. Sociology is concerned with social dynamics and group behaviors that will go to build an inclusive and cohesive working atmosphere. It is focusing on the need to combine structures, values and practices in a coherent, self-sustaining structure. Just creating forums, building and sustaining a group of employees needs a genuine change in the organizational and managerial culture. Cognitive science depicts how people perceive, learn and remember that eventually enhances the productivity. An organization that motivates with incentives and their power of vision energizes the employees who want to be motivated. To this end, instead of pushing solutions on the problem employees, the organization should encourage the employees to solve problems by creating circumstances whereby the employees can channel their motivation for achieving the goals. Behavioral economics thus dissects psychological factors that impacts economic decisions that create a conducive workplace through productivity-linked incentives. Further, motivating factors that are intrinsic to the work, recognition for achievement, the work itself, responsibility, and the growth. The concept of anthropology paves way for understanding cultural differences that would support a cohesive working atmosphere. Counseling employees. Counseling employees means allowing the employees unburden themselves by talking to someone about the problem. Workplace counseling assumes important role in the developing the employees' support systems, unburdening their problems. Counseling also helps employees to bring forth their concern and seek guidance. With stress, anxiety and burnout in workplaces gaining phenomenal momentum, there are two different needs of human beings. One stems from the human's animal nature to avoid pain from the environment, and all the other drives that are related to biological needs such as hunger. This makes it necessary to earn money, which becomes a specific cause for earning. The other needs are related to the human characteristics such as the ability to achieve and through achievement experience psychological growth. When all this does not materialize, it creates a mental tension among the employees. The things that make employees satisfied on the job front are interesting work, challenge, and increasing responsibility. Mental issues have a disastrous effect on the employees. The workplace is besieged with challenges that can have an adverse impact on the employees' mental health. The challenges range from stress due to high workloads, meeting business targets within the stipulated period, and handling pressures of work and personal life. Hence, it is imperative that workplace counseling is a necessity. Mental stress is the harbinger that impacts the productivity of the employees. The goal of the personnel management requires to concoct the appropriate incentive system so as to evolve a specific working conditions that would facilitate the optimum use of human machinery in the most efficient manner. Another way to increase the productivity of the employees is to remove the difficult portion of the assignment so as to give the worker a free hand to accomplish more of the smaller challenging assignment. This approach would go as accomplishing addition. It is a known fact that job enrichment is not a one-time proposition but a managerial function. Bringing about changes in the job has its desired effects. However, the changes need to bring job to a level that will commensurate with the skill. Better personal management will culminate in job enrichment, efforts that would evolve in a better human satisfaction and economic gain, which would be the largest dividends that an industry can reap. Communication plays a vital role in understanding behavioral science in as much as it facilitates a better understanding between the management, employees, and the counselors. Effective communicating with efficiency is of paramount importance for the success in any job. The value of one's verbal, non-verbal, and written communication abilities needs to be improved so as to foster effective and meaningful interactions with professional stakeholders, clients, and company workers. In the present era of digitalization, adaptation to the technological skills and changes to keep in tune with the present trend is crucial. With the fast pace with which artificial intelligence is moving, the corporates are more inclined to adopt AI in their work, which can do better, quicker, and faster work. Employees look out for individuals with an analytical bent of mind, with the ability to solve problems and make accurate decisions. They need to analyze problems critically and ensure effective decision by taking into consideration conceivable permutations based on data analysis. It is the skill that leads to novel ideas for creativity. These skills can foresee future demands that can increase the business. To this end, management course develop the individual to keep them abreast with evolving job scenario. This is done by fostering in them the ability to adapt to the changing circumstances and prepare them for solving problems and find innovative solutions. Motivating the employees will bring in desired results. To this end, it needs a clear understanding of the situation without any bias, a deep and clear insight into the various vagaries of human nature, both in the individual and group levels, reasonable expectations, and building of both balanced, tangible and intangible incentives. Managers' expectation of employees must pass the test of reality. This is evident from tools like employee surveys, wellness, feedback systems, apps that would facilitate provision of valuable insights into employees' welfare. Employees need to ensure that they give enough space for themselves, including physical exercise limitation. Moreover, the young generation are engaged in moonlighting, which includes engaging in a second job after the work hours, especially after the work from home is completed. This creates burnouts and fatigues. Burnout happens when the employees are under intense pressure, competitiveness, and desire to outshine their peers and achieve professional milestones. In such an eventuality, an exhausted employee tends to make more mistakes than other employees whose emotional needs are addressed. Achieving a healthy workforce can evolve only if the management has a compassionate understanding of the employees' behavioral problems. The best way to achieve a balanced work life is to work out a careful and systematic planning coupled with discipline and dedication. To this end, family members need to be involved in household tasks that will pave the way for sharing responsibility and lessening the burden of the employees. Physical, moral, social and cognitive transitions, ages 18, early 20s. This is a crucial year where students move from a strict and supervised environment from school to a larger group, that is, college, with relatively more freedom, new ideas and exposure to a larger cross-section of the society. Students come from diverse sections and bring in their own experience, thought, ideas and develop their own ways to understand and navigate their way in the world. Physical changes are more pronounced as one enters late teens. The feeling of acceptance of how one should think, look, dress and behave is largely influenced by media, social media. This is more so since almost everyone is connected to the internet, where a lot of social influencers dictate on how to dress, behave and eating habits. The person is unable to distinguish between logic and content that is spewed. The person believes social acceptance is dependent on this. This is where the media plays an important part. Being fair-skinned and tall are always sounded as being preferred in social media and in films, TV. If one feels he or she does not match up, there are problems. Moral ideas are preconceived and based on conventional societal norms. These, however, come into question as the one grows older. There is a moral judgment on events and in social happening. Psychosocial development is more pronounced as one grows older. There are social ideas on what is appropriate to us, what one wants to do. This could be with regard to taking a particular academic course, in getting into a professional degree, type of work one can pursue, etc. In this environment, one has to find out one's true self, identify one's identity and relate to one's environment. Social media has been responsible for isolating one and reduce social interaction with peers, family and friends to a large degree. Feeling of inadequacy. The feeling of not matching up in terms of skills, opportunities, comparing oneself with other students from larger cities. They may come off as being more confident and able to convey they are more effective as students. Information about taking various courses, ideas about how this translated into getting jobs, future prospects. Behavioral counseling. This addresses problems in personal interaction, improved ways of communication, comprehension. One old ways of interaction may be counterproductive and may be causing problems in relationship. As students, it is important to look at all the opportunities that the college has to offer, making ample use of the library. This also includes reading about different subjects. If there are extracurricular activities like sports, dramatics, debating, this would help shape and give a well-rounded personality. There are various courses online one can avail that would give certification and are free of cost. This can add to your personal skills. Example, Careers 360.